Okay, good afternoon all. You're always first, Wood. Good on you, mate. Good afternoon. I hope you get a good setup today. Yeah, you and me both, mate. In all fairness, yesterday I looked at some of the guys on the Facebook group. Not many people did any trading yesterday. It was tough yesterday. Okay. Right, what I will say, Ionis, I've messaged Apex, and for some reason, you've got to type in UKFT 80, but you get the 90% off. Yeah, but the 80, I don't quite know. But I spoke to a guy called Chris Childers, and he said to me, just leave it for the next few days, and then we'll discuss it again. But I am going to ask if I can just do UKFT and then whatever discount it refers to, because it is a bit of a pain. So yeah, you do get, if you look, I've actually changed it down here. I've changed it to UKFT 80, but you do get the 90% off. I don't quite know why it hasn't referred to. It's a bit of a pain sometimes. Someone did suggest yesterday I change it to UKFT and then promo or something. So when this is done, I'll have a word with them. It might just be easy to just set UKFT, I think, or something like that. See what they say, and then obviously it just refers to, I can just say it's 90% or 8% or whatever it is at the time. So let's have a look. So I appreciate that. Thank you, mate. You too, brother. It has been tough lately, isn't it? But yesterday I did my job, and my job is there to sit there and wait for a good setup. There was one, unfortunately, I didn't reload my historic data, and when I did, a good setup appeared. Apart from that, up until when I finished, there was nothing that really jumped out at me. So my job is to sit there nice and patiently, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm pleased. It would have been nicer to have a trade, absolutely. But the fact that I've sat there patiently, that's our job really, and wait for a setup. If one doesn't appear, then it's just, it's tough luck. It happens. But, I'm happy I've done my job, and I've done my job well. There was no real setups, and I didn't do nothing. So it's kind of the right way to do it, really. So it's just having the patience to do it, and that's where maybe, some newer traders just coming into it feel that they have to take something, and it is frustrating. I mean, when you see these big moves and there's no entry, and you're thinking, well, hold on a minute, it's going down. Why not I just sell? Well, I've done that, and guarantees the second you sell, it tails up and comes and take you out. So it's just frustrating. Sorry, trading's frustrating. It's many things, trading, but it's also blooming frustrating, and that's where the patience can get the better of it. But if you can learn just to stay patient, and I seem to be in a good place there at the moment, and I'm managing to build these accounts, which makes me feeling good. So if I can sit there and wait for a setup, and if it appears, I take it. If it doesn't, nothing you can do. So let's hope we all get something here, bud. How are you, JP? How you doing, bud? Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, but yeah, just keep it in mind, folks. If you do want to use, there is 90% off, but my code's UKFT and 80 for some reason. Don't ask me why, but it does do the 90% off. Just check it before you pay it, but it should be around about the $16. So there you go. I bought 3 spare accounts today before a discount expires, but I think you know about the... Yes, I do, bud. I appreciate that, Stefan. Yeah, I did message him, and he said to me, there's no record of the UKFT on the system. And I went, it clearly chat. I sent in the message, a copy of the message that the guy called Cameron who changed it. So I don't know what's going on, but it's a headache, really, isn't it? But yeah, he did say just keep it as UKFT 80, and then we'll sort it out after the promotion when I think the 80%, does it finish? I think it's Wednesday, isn't it? Something like that. I will find out and let you all know. Hey Sam, how you doing, bud? Indy, how you doing, brother? Groll Daddy, good morning. So let's have a look. Okay, so everything's set up here. Everything's working like it should be. We had what looked like a little smaller trend, couple of legs up and something again. One leg, two leg, one leg, two leg, one leg. Whether we break above here or whether we come down. I have had a little fiddle around to see if there's anything slightly bigger there. But I don't think there is at the moment. The trouble is, if you get this wrong, it can affect the way you trade. So I think the safest bet is to just see that looks okay to me. It's working in there on the backside, so I think the safest bet is to just stick to the small stuff. And then when the bigger stuff appear, the bigger channels appear, then you can sort of fill in the gaps. NC, how you doing, bud? So no trade yesterday. I did do something, was it this morning on one of my Apex ones? It was I got into something or other. One of the evaluations, I got into something and did a bit earlier on this morning. So market officially opens in 1 minute. Roll on September, because a lot of the institutional traders are taking their holidays around about now, and obviously that less institutional traders, less money, so I believe. But it is a bit frustratingly slow at the moment. But unfortunately, as much as we hate it, there's not a great deal you can do about it, so you just have to work with it and hope for better times. Okay, so I'm having a quick look at the 10,000 tick chart here. This is where we opened. We touched here. We seem to be working down here, and it looks like we've got a break and a leg up to the EMA of the 10,000 tick chart. So it does look like we're getting a couple of legs up to break the low. Now, this is that bigger channel there, so we've got a leg up, so it looks like we may have another leg up and then possibly down. I'd like to break above this line here, which would get us closer to the EMA on there. But that looks like a classic leg up, bit of sideways and a leg up. By the count, it isn't a second entry, or is it? Yeah, that did break lower, so it is a second entry. But what it is, more importantly, is a leg and a leg, a bit of sideways. So it did actually break, so it is a second entry, but it's certainly a hidden second entry. So depending on how high we get here, whether we come down on the 10,000 tick chart, obviously this is the bigger time frame, but this does give you a clearer picture as well. So not everybody uses it. I did when I started streaming, but I stopped for a while, but recently I've had it back, and it does also second entry short on the 5 minute time frame. Just a bit, yeah. I think they all tend to show you the similar sort of picture, and the picture to me is looking like it's going to come down. But obviously you can't just sell, you've got to wait for a bigger setup. Okay, I was hoping it was going to push a little bit higher, so we might have a leg. If we can get up to about here somewhere and then start to work down, then I may be interested. Okay, market is open anyway. But on the 10,000 tick charts, it's kind of looking okay, isn't it? Leg and a leg. I'd prefer to get a bit higher than that, but if I get the right signal on here, further down here, then I may be interested. It'd be nice to get into a trade early for a while. Hey Jay, how you doing, pal? So let's have a wee look anyway. So yes, if anybody does use my code, you've got to use UKFT and 80. You do get the 80% off, but I don't know, there's been an error somewhere. So okay, so 10,000 tick chart is starting to leg starting to move down, but obviously we've got to find a setup here somewhere on the way down. So let's see what happens. Being careful not to get trapped, of course. So it does. That looks like a triple test, actually, doesn't it? In all fairness, but it's a little bit congested here, and it's just right on the open. So yeah, so if you'd have taken that as a triple test, it triggered you and stopped you out, but that one worked. So sometimes you've got to be patient. And we have got to be careful, because if you look on that 10,000 tick chart, if you took that trade, that is backing up on you. So if that breaks above there, the trade's not on here. As I mentioned, I would prefer that red bar a little bit closer to the EMA, really. It does look like there's a leg and a leg, but if you measure from there to there, it's less distance than from there to there. It's more distance than from there to there, so it could It could trap some shorts there, so you've got to be careful. There's something about this I don't like anyway, because we're clearly making higher lows, so you just got to be a bit careful. So let's get that out of the way for a minute. Market has a real habit of playing tricks on you, and you've really got to be on the ball.
Order submitted.
I kind of like that. But something's just making me feel a little bit uncomfortable there.
Order
I don't
canceled.
quite know what it is. We're still making higher highs. So we got this leg down, and then we got a break. Try to go once, try to go twice. Oh,
Order submitted.
No, it's just getting a little bit congested there for me.
Order cancelled.
Something's ringing alarm bells. I like the idea that if trying to go once, try to go twice, if we broke below here, we may push down, but it's just getting a bit congested there for me, and it's making me a bit nervous. Okay, that it may come down, but usually when it does start to work, it usually waits for a good solid signal bar, and there's nothing that's a good solid signal bar. I was tempted to put a short below here, but I've done stuff like that before, and it triggers you and then pushes up and stops above there. So it's just a bit... before I start to think about going short, I'd rather it break out and retest this. But there's just alarm bells ringing to me there, so I'm staying out at the minute. Right, so if I'd have put one tip behind there, that's where my stop would be. Right at the midline, and this isn't coming down quick enough for me, really. Okay, 10,000 tick chart's looking relatively bearish, so that's sort of a good sign. So it may start to work a leg and a leg. Okay, so if I had put an order behind there, I may have been out my 2 points. Yeah, I would have been now. But I don't know, it's just a little bit congested there. And there is a possibility that there's a bit of a range. And the reason I put that is it's clearly working there. And we've touched once, twice, 3, 4 times along there. So I just think there may be a little bit of congestion there. And that's kept me out of putting an order below there. For me, it wants to be clear and obvious. And that's not clear and obvious. That's an area which may have trapped you. So if I think there's a doubt that I'm not comfortable with, for me, it's best to just leave it alone. And so far, it stands me in good stead. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. It's in the way. But one tick below there is that measured leg. And the reason I'm getting rid of it is because there may be a channel starting to work there. We've had this channel. We've had 1, 2 legs higher. We may be getting some downward stuff today. Whether this will turn into a bigger channel at some point, I don't know. But we had a leg down, 1, 2 legs of correction, leg down, 1, 2 legs of correction. I'm hoping another leg down. So, oh, shoot. So, let's see. It's a shame, actually. I wasn't looking at the market there because I may have been interested in taking that short because we got a fresh count there. First entry, second entry. It does look like a couple of pushes up. I would have taken that, I think. 1, 2, 3 touches. And that would have worked. I'm going to remove that now. I mean, it's definitely working down on the 10,000 tick chart. We've had one leg, two leg bearish bar. It's definitely working down, but it's just, I don't like that doji. And it is a little bit sideways on the way down. And that just makes me a bit nervous because a lot of time it can start to work down and then push up and trap some shorts. It needs to be, it's obvious there's a good set. Because if you can get a really good setup, a lot of traders will take that trade and that momentum then will push it down. But there's nothing that's obvious here, which is why it hasn't gone down smoothly. And that's what makes me a bit nervous. I want it to be obvious. And I think if you stick to those trades, you'll do okay. Okay, so if we can get a second entry short here, that may interest me. We're certainly... Let me just look at this though. I've taken trades like this before and it's triggered, come down and bounced. So there may be a bigger range here. So got to be careful going short here. See what I mean? Second entry short, that's triggered. Second entry short, it kind of fits nice, but look what that bar's doing. And that's the trouble. I've took shorts like that before and it's triggered me and stopped me out and I'm like, why? And then someone said, look back, look there and look there and look what's happening. So watch this, stop that bar out. That's the problem really. It's always good to look back. It's saved me a couple of times that, and the reason I've learnt that is because I've taken trades I haven't thought about what's back here. That will almost definitely push up. So I'm thinking, oh, nice channel there. Okay, that's one tick off its low, right up to the look at that. Second entry short, beautiful looking trade in a downtrend. Looks beautiful. 1, 2, 3, it's confirmed. Triggers your stops you out. Why? Look back here, look back there, look back there. It's clearly at the bottom of a range. Sure looks like it. Absolutely. That's the problem sometimes, and I've learnt that by losing trades. And that's how you learn. You get caught in these trades and you ask someone what went wrong and they explain to you. And then the next time you see something like that, you're thinking, oh, let me just check. Do I really want to go short into this? So that's the problem. And then sometimes, because it's chopping its range, you might think, okay, so we're going to trap out the shorts here. So I'll take one tick above there and I'll put me stop behind here. And what happens? It triggers you, comes down. And that'll almost definitely stop that out. So trap. What's that? So yeah, that's the trouble. Sometimes you think, oh, we trap people here. Oh, I'm going to get into this and ride it back to the top. And then the market just flipping smiles at you and stops you out. So, and you learn that by it happening. Watch one more tick below there. There we go. So if you think, oh yeah, second entry short, beautiful. It triggers you, stops you out. You're thinking, okay, yeah, we're in a range. Okay, there we go. First entry, there's the failure. What happens? Nice big bullish bar. You're going to trap the shorts, triggers you, stops you out. So market is very, very efficient at making traders miserable. And the reason you learn that is by getting trapped and stopped out many times. And then you start to learn these areas to stay out. You've got to wait for these smooth moves and stay out of these traps. But yeah, see, bugger in it. You think, here we go, this is a nice looking trade with the trend. We touched here. One tick off its low, second entry short, beautiful. Triggers you, push you straight back up, stops you out. You think, yeah, we trap people because we're in a range. Try go low once, try go low twice, failure. Let's ride it back to the top. What happens? Triggers you, stops you out. Yeah, you got to be so careful. Okay, so that now is a lower high. So if we can push below here, we may come down. We'll see. It's just too risky for me. taking a big ass bar like that right into the lows. It is bearish enough that I would say it's probably going to work, because it does look like we're trying to make a new low, but probably isn't good enough for me to want to take a short there. But if it triggers above here and then pushes below and takes the stop out, that might then have some momentum. Okay, so it is starting to work. So if it closes out there, I expect some downward movement towards breaking that low. Let's see if it holds below. That's good enough. Yeah, you got to be so careful of these areas where there's traps. I've done it before. I've realised I've got trapped, so I've cancelled my trade and gone long, and then I've got trapped again. So whenever you get these traps, you often get one in the opposite direction as well. So market's a bugger at stitching you up, and it's frustrating. So many times I'd have taken a trade like that and got angry that I've got stopped out and think, damn, they've stopped me out, and I've gone long, and the same's happened again. So you got to be so careful. Chance of you losing another trade immediately after a loss, the chance of that climbs dramatically. Okay, unfortunately, it was a lower high, quite a bearish bar, but look at that. If that triggered and pushed up, the answer to the question would be, well, you went short right into the bottoms of that. And really, to safely look for a short, you've got to wait for it to close below and then maybe retest. But there is a leg and a leg down there, so we could get a leg and a leg back up, retest the EMA, and then push down some more. I would expect to break this low, because that to me looks like what it's doing. Leg, 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 leg. So second entry short from here, that may interest me, but just like a lot of the times now, market doesn't even get back to here, it just continues down. And that is our low of the day. Call them the overnight lows if you like. We call them the early afternoon lows in the UK. But okay, so small channel there, break. New low from that channel. I know expecting a new low below there. So I would say there's a channel there, a leg there, and a leg there. And the way it's touching in a couple of areas here and struggling there, that would make sense. But I do expect it to trigger that one and then push down and make a new low. Yeah, because there's probably going to be traders going long there. It may work a bit, but ultimately it'll look for that stop, I think. Maybe traders going long there because, in fact, that's a bit lower. We've passed that, I think. Here we have. Okay, so that's played out. I don't think it's going to go far. I did say it might work a bit. You may have got a couple of points out of it, but we're not where I'd expect to be a new low after this, so I still expect it to come down further. So if we can get a second entry short and then a lower high, that might interest me. I want to take the lower high just in case it's deciding not to break that low because it's close. If I'm going to go short to break a low, I'd rather do it higher than this. Because that measured leg's played out, so there is a possibility it may not come down. Which is why I just wouldn't want to take a second entry short. I'd want the lower high, just to give us the confirmation we're coming down a bit further. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we may be getting some nice downward stuff today. It's trying to find something that fits. Okay, just waiting for our new low. A few more ticks off it. Come on, close enough now. I can't see it coming back without making a new low. Okay, one more tick. There we go. Unfortunately, there was just no entry. I wasn't a fan of that bar. That one I wasn't a fan of, just purely because we bounced off this in the past and there is a possibility it may trigger and push up. That didn't get close enough to the EMA. There wasn't a second entry or lower high either, didn't get close enough. So unfortunately, you get that without us. Okay, interesting leg up break, matching high double top, which is triggered. It's the lower high that I'm waiting for because that is just a bit risky. But we're spending a lot of time under the CMA, so that one's triggered, and I'll be shocked if it doesn't get stopped out. So another trade avoided. There we go. That's taken that one out. If you think 1, 2, second entry, pushed up twice. It's only really one leg, see, but when you get something like that, really, you've got to wait for the lower high. Okay, so we got a leg up break, another leg up, looks like a measured leg. Still could come down. There was a failure there, which was trapping the shorts, but in all honesty, it's that bearish at the moment. I wouldn't really want to get in there because... let's have a look. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. It's quite bearish, see, so I don't really want to be going long there. You might take a long there, it might trap you, it might trigger above and then come down and give you a lower high. I think that's a dangerous trade to take personally. It might be okay. So we've had a break of this and a new high. So it's just, I've got alarm bells here. This is not, it doesn't look comfortable to me. That's triggered. So you may have taken that one. You may take that one thinking that you're going to trap the shorts, and it's gone up a little bit, not much, and come down. So I think that's alarm bells myself. So a lower high here may interest me going short. But there could be some traps here. It's a little bit congested there. Okay, see what happens now. See if that comes down and gives us a lower high. In all fairness, same again like earlier. There looks to me like a bit of sideways there. Yeah. Same again, full of traps. That one there, if you decided to go bearish there, you call it a lower high. It's not technically, but it does look like it's a lower one. It triggers you, straight away stops you out. You may have taken this one, thinking we're going up, triggers you. To me, that's going to stop that bar out, stop that out. So there's the double trap there, so you may have taken that one, stopped you out. You may have taken that long, stopped you out. You've got to just stay out of this until it makes up its mind what they're going to do. It might go up, might go down. Now, the market so far has been bearish, so I'd think it's more likely to go down. But you've got to wait for it to break out and then maybe retest before you think about getting back into a short trade. Okay, so if we can push down a bit, then maybe retest and give us a failure. Might be interested. Such a lot of trading is just having a feel for something because you've been in this position many times before. And it's when something looks right. It's like anything, you sort of fine-tune your mind to know what looks good and what doesn't look good. When something doesn't look right, it's usually because it's caused you some problems in the past. But to me, this is a bit congested. I'd say it's for me, it's going down because it's been bearish up to now. But you've got to be so careful which trade you take because it could stop you out and then end up going in the same direction. What I'd like to see is a bullish bar here, which triggered and then comes straight down, because that would trigger some possible longs. So just traps galore there. You think we have a break. You might say, oh yeah, double top, let's go short here. Triggers you, stops you out. You might think, let's go long above there. Trap the shorts, triggers you, stops you out. You might think you go long there. 1, 2, 3, triple test, triggers you, stops you out. It's just that's just full of traps. These little ranges. There's uncertainty there. Are we going higher or are we going lower? Let's have a look. Just seeing if there is something a bit bigger working now. That kind of. I'm not a massive fan just yet, but it does to me look like we may get a bearish day, or at least for a time. I'd like to come back and retest this underside and maybe give a little bit more confirmation on this channel. Let's get rid of that now. Okay, yeah, I've got to be careful here because we haven't made a new low here. That channel might not be right. I kind of like that rejection though. See if we can get a lower high. I like the way it pushed up and then dropped immediately. But we have had a new low here, so you've got to be careful. We could have a leg and a leg, and we may start to work higher, so you've got to be so careful. I mean, it pushed up and then dropped quickly, which sometimes is a good sign. It just means there's the short trades up here a bit. I'd rather take a lower high, leg and leg. Okay, so let's see if this higher low triggers. That's a lower high, that is.
Order submitted.
Still something I'm not a massive fan of. Oh, something I don't like about it. See if it'll get us on a limit order. See if it'll get us on a limit order. No, it's not going to, is it? Okay. It's just something I didn't quite like. It did work. Okay.
Order cancelled.
Be safe, and I've no problem with missing a trade. Much better to miss a trade than to get trapped in an area where you're not comfortable with, and something's just not comfortable about this. Leg down, maybe another leg down. Yeah, I thought some of you might have done for a point. That's just something I wasn't quite sure about it. What did it give you? I was very tempted. If it came back, then I wasn't an hour about it. So yeah, you'd have got a 0.75 out of it. So your stop would have been there, so it would still be intact. Let me just see if there's a bigger measured move here. So right in the top from there to there. Okay, would still give us a ways down. We do seem like we're working in this tier now, so That would take us down to 44.64. Okay. What I'm seeing on the 10,000 tick chart is that, and it's making me a bit nervous. We've had these two legs up, we've had these two legs down, and it's going a bit sideways now, so. Look at this. Yeah, I was right to be cautious about that because it didn't go down. If you didn't get it straight away, you may have got stung there. Let's have a look. So, yeah, I wouldn't have. I go for 2.25 points, so I was right to be cautious about that because you'd have got a 1.5 maximum. It's just going a bit sideways for me. That's what's making me a bit nervous. It's a bit more stemmy, isn't it? So we've had quite a few breaks and new lows, so you just got to be so careful. I'm a bit unsure about what's the channel here. It's getting a bit choppy. So you may see a lower high there and take that. That's triggered. So I'm just not taking anything at the moment because that could just come and stop you out. And that's exactly what it's doing. Markets are so good at making your life miserable. Okay, so if you look at the 10,000 tick chart, we are back to the EMA. So let's have a look at this. We've had a leg down, a bit sideways. We may come back and touch the EMA and push down some more. It's hard to say, really. But we've got a leg. It's likely we're going to have another leg because that looks like a leg with a two-legged correction and another leg. So I'll just keep an eye on that. Yeah, I'm quite glad I left that one. Something just felt it's a little bit sideways. But I go for 2.25 points, which wouldn't have worked, and it would have come and stopped me out. So I'm kind of glad I left it in a way. I did drop a limit order to see if it'd come back and get me, but obviously it didn't. Once it's gone, 1.5, it's just there's no point. That's the trouble. When markets are moving quick, you don't have a lot of time to think. You've got to make decisions quickly, and that's where experience helps. So the longer you've been doing it, the better you're going to get at it. But something just didn't feel right there, so I made a good choice there. It is going a bit sideways, I think. Yeah. Yeah, we've had such a lot of downward stuff so far. I thought there was a possibility we would end up going sideways for a bit. So this may be it. There's got to be a bigger channel down here, surely. Touch here, touch here. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? It's sort of, isn't it? We're still moving down. Okay, this does look like it's bottoming a little bit there, so let's keep an eye on this. Okay, forget that. Okay, I might have to just nip off just for a few minutes. We've got a guy coming to look at a bathroom light, so I'm just going to put back in 5 on here. Just had a bathroom light causing a few problems. It's an LED sealed unit, so we've got a guy to come and have a look at it. So I think he's just pulled up outside. Okay, leg up, bearish bar. See if we can get a lower high here. Let's just
Order submitted.
see if we can get a lower high, because it is really bearish at the moment. I know he is. Okay.
Order cancelled.
I'll be 5 minutes.
Order filled.
Okay, sorry about that. It's just I've got a guy looking in the bathroom. Come on down. I'm just going to go for 2 points here. Come on, baby. Down you go. Come on. Come on.
Order filled.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Okay, excuse me a minute. I've just got a guy here. And I will be back. 2 minutes. Okay, is everything okay? Can everybody see anything? It's just Chris put, is there something wrong with the chat? I'm not seeing anything. Can someone just put something down if everything's working okay? Just quiet today. Okay. Yeah, excuse me a minute. I've just got a guy come in the bathroom, so I'm just going to put my speaker on mute a minute. Okay, it's all right. He's just nipped out to the van. Sorry about that. I thought he's literally just about 20 feet away from me. If I start talking, he's going to think I'm flipping nuts. Okay, so I fiddle with this as much as I can, but if you look at this, we're clearly working down. There's no argument. Every time it comes to the EMA, it's dropping. Same again. And we've got 2 legs up to the EMA as well. That kind of looks quite nice. So I'd say, judging by the 10,000 tick chart, I'd say it's probably likely going to continue down, but it's just, I don't know where you guys think that channel is. It's not the easiest of channels because it's continuously down, isn't it? So let me just remove this smaller one. See if I can tidy it up a bit, and push this away as well. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back onto silent just for a few minutes. Hopefully, it'll be finished. Excuse me a second. Okay, sorry about that. It's all right. He's in the bathroom. Just fitting a new light. It's a sealed unit, see, so sorry about that. Sorry, Christopher. Okay, yeah, sorry. Max chart. Yeah, exactly the same. It's got the large one. When we had these couple of pushes up, and he's got this one as well. There's the larger one. These two pushes up, and he's got it exactly the same. So that's a good sign. Let's have a look. Yeah, he might have his something like that. I don't know. Let me have a look. Has he got it like that? He might do. Yeah. Okay, so Matt's got it like that. That makes sense. Let's get rid of that short one. Touch there. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so, yeah. Max got his exactly the same, so that's a good sign. So now, I took this, we had a small channel up there, a break, a new high, took a lower high, really nicely below the EMA. That's exactly where I take it, and we came down. Now we made, it looks like, a bottoming pattern there. I think it came down for about 2.5 points or something, didn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah, 2.75. So I got out at 2 points, which was around about here anyway. So that was fine. But it does look like it's bottoming there to me. It bounced. So it does look like we're having a break of this channel. So whether it will continue up or not, I don't know. But what I am going to do is, let's do that and that. So there is a possibility we could have a couple of legs and then something else. I took the same scalp. Great. Yeah, I mean, this channel looked okay. It's a little bit lower than I'd like it, but we did have a small micro trend there, channel there, and a push up. And then we had a bearish bar there, followed by a lower high. Finished on its low. I like where it finishes. That's the type of trade that interests me. And I got out for 2 points, and that was fine. It went down for 2 3/4. So it gave me, you know, I may have expected it to go a bit lower, but the fact that it bounced like that tells me that maybe we're going to have a break and we've got a leg up. And in fact, let's pull that down a fraction. Put that there. Let's get rid of this. Did I just delete there? Okay. Yeah, so we got a leg, and that looks like another leg. So whether we'll continue down or not, I don't know. At some point, we could obviously Lance is 90% off resets, or when you open a new accounts, mate. So don't reset. I mean, I don't know what resets are, whether resets are $40, but in all fairness, mate, with it's $16 at the moment. Just in my opinion, anyway. It's up to you, but I'd take the just pay for the new eval. It's a fraction of the cost, but for some reason, I don't know why the evals are showing. You can see my discount code. It's you got to put in UKFT and then 80, but it does give you 90% off. I don't quite know why. I've been on the email to Apex, and they said just use the 80, but it will give you 90% off, but double check, and then they'll sort it out after, but I don't quite know why. Okay, so we're coming down, we've come back. Now that to me looks like a leg and a nice bearish bar, so that to me looks like a beautiful place to go short. Now that tells me that this may continue down. Having said that, I love it on there, but I don't love it on there, because it may come down a little bit here. But I don't know about here, so it does look like we'll continue down. Every time we come back to the EMA, we drop in, up to the EMA, we drop in, and that's about as close as you can get to the EMA. So I'd say there's a good chance that's going to come down, but it looks quite kind of nice on the 10,000 tick chart, but obviously you don't really want to be going short here, because we've had a couple of legs up, and it may just retest the top of this channel and push up. So although it looks bearish on the 10,000 tick chart, if I have something bearish here and something bearish on the 10,000 tick chart, the bigger picture just gives me a little bit more confirmation that I'm headed in the right direction. So let's see how we got on. But yeah, nice 2 points there. Nice $1,000 into my 5p accounts, all bar $8 on each. And I got 2 evals there. I did a trade on that earlier. That's why it's a slight higher, but 2 points, 10. I trade 10 contracts on there, so $1,000 all bar $40 worth of fees. So the beauty of it is you do 3 trades on these. If you can get 3 winning trades in a row, which most of the time I would do, then you pass these that way rather than just straightforward, just randomly gamble them, which I used to do. So let's have a look. I'd say with what I'm seeing on the 10,000 tick chart, I'm saying this is probably going to pull down. But what I don't like is the fact that it's sort of doing this. Now, it's quite a shallow angle, and the more shallow, in my opinion, from my experience, the less strong they are, the less strong the channel is. It's just a little bit weak in my opinion. So it is stopping me from going short, but I don't think it's going to continue up. That just to me is a break, but it pushed down relatively quickly. So I don't know whether this, what I'm thinking at some point is we may end up including this bottom, and we may end up having something like that. So I don't know at the moment, but this channel looks valid to me. Max got it, so that's a good sign. But we have had a break of it, so I would expect it to be low. But the trouble is we're getting higher bottoms here, so that's making me a bit dubious about going short. I'd rather let this figure itself out. Now the electrician just came in. He said, "I'm just going to have to switch the power off." I went, "I don't think so." So he's figured a way around it, fortunately. Okay, so that's a leg down. I'm a bit dubious. Normally, a lower high like that may interest me, but look what's happening, and look what's happening there. So if you took that short, you just got stuffed, because that is almost definitely going to trigger above there. One more tick, there you go. And that's what's making me nervous about going short, the fact that we're slowly drifting up. Whoa. Ooh, some cryptos are in a pump. Let's have a look. I've got some H-bar. I really believe in H-bar. And that's at a 10% pump today. Happy days. That's made me a massive $50. Okay, so let's see what's going to go. Let's see whether we're going to bounce here. I'm just not in the market for longs at the moment. I would like to see a new low. Whether it will or not, I don't know. But this line is holding price at the moment. So let's see what happens here. Now, strangely enough, on the 10,000 tick chart, there's a really nice looking lower high there. Now, it's got a bit of ways yet till it finishes, but that, we got one leg up, 2 legs up. That looks really nice, actually, doesn't it? It really does look nice. But how much room is the lows? That's what's making me a bit nervous. It hasn't finished yet anyway, so it may look a bit naff. But if that was a lower high, I kind of like that trade. So, but if I do take another trade, which I'm quite happy not, I kind of like one trade a day actually. We can all sit there patiently for one trade. And there's nothing worse than getting a trade then losing it. Okay, so it's turned naff in the end. I'm kind of glad it has, because that's telling me going short is not a good idea. Okay, this guy's just finishing up. Excuse me a minute, and I'm going to say my goodbyes. 2 minutes. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a fan of what it's doing now. It may come down, but I just don't like the fact that it is starting to. That's Trap City to me, that is. What time is it? Let me go in an hour and a half. Okay. Fact, guys, I might finish early today. Wife's just come home. We got some visitors, so... What time is it? Let's have a look. Okay, I usually do an extra hour and a half, don't I? But I kind of like the one trade. It's worked out nice. I've just put $1,000 into my 5 PAs and got my 2 evals up by around about $1,000 each. So all good. So yeah, I'm going to knock out the ad for today, folks. I'm going to try and have the odd early day because I've been getting a bit obsessive with trading lately and it's just absolutely wearing me out. I'm looking at charts at night. Sometimes I'm waking up in early hours of the morning and I'm looking at Bookmap and it's frying my head. What's the max daily drawdown Apex evaluation? On the 50,000, it's $2,500. They've got no max loss, but if you lose $2,500 in one go without recouping any, you'll hit your drawdown. So there we go. So yeah, I'm going to finish early today. It's been a good day. I've had a couple of points out the market, so it's been quite generous. I took that lower high. We had a leg up there, break, little short micro trend up there, short-term trend channel up there with a break, new high, and then a lower high. Nice and bearish. I like that. So I went short there and got me 2 points. It does look like it may start to work down, but I'm going to finish there, folks. I'm going to take. I want a couple of days a week where I have early days. Just to get away from trading for a bit, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like my whole life is about trading. There's never a second where it's out of my head, and sometimes it can feel like it consumes you a little bit, wears you down. I seem to wake up at night and trading's in my head. You know, I wake up in the morning and trading's in my head. Sometimes I've got to try and separate the work with my sort of home and family time. So I'm going to finish early today. I might take my wife and daughter out for lunch. So I appreciate your comments. Hopefully you've got a trade, whether you took that one or there was one back here somewhere. I left alone, and I'm kind of glad I did, because it it wouldn't have given me my points. But it does look like it's going to continue down and make a new low. I just didn't like the fact that it was slowly going up and there was a few traps there. So have a great afternoon, folks. Hope you get some more trades. It's been an okay day for me. I appreciate your comments. Sorry about the little bits of interruptions. But we had my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, was suffering from quite bad anxiety at the moment. It started with lockdown. And she was in the bathroom last night at about 9 o'clock at night and let out a massive scream. She was in the bathroom with the door locked and everything went black. So we had to have it was a sealed unit, so we had to have a new light fitted. So hence the short interruptions, but I apologise about that. So, but yeah, now and again, a couple of days a week, I'm going to have an early day and just have a break. I've done my job today. I've got $1,000 in my accounts, and I've got 2 evals to a nice level there. So, good job, lads. Enjoy it. You deserve it. Thank you, Captain. I appreciate that, mate. Thanks, Ryan. So, have a great afternoon. Good luck. Hope you get some trades in. I hope the market's not too cruel. Don't let it bully you. So, I'll be back here same time tomorrow. So, stay safe. Look after yourselves, and we will do the same again tomorrow. So bye for now.